Hello everybody, this is the 100th time I'm trying to film this intro. The past 2-3 weeks I haven't actually filmed anything, and that's because of what's going on in the world right now, and I'm sure everyone that's watching is well aware. There's a lot going on right now that's really downplaying it. Just saying that there's a lot going on. I think right now our country in general has picked up a lot of momentum to finally change the systemic oppression and racism that's been deeply ingrained into our society as a whole. We're not just trying to tackle like police brutality and the corporate world, but it's just like the oppression against the Black community. And honestly, I don't really want to make this video about like my learning journey and things like that. Oh, and sorry, I'm looking down because I wrote some points down because like I don't know really what to say and how to say these things. And I mean, like I'm not a YouTuber, I'm just someone that posts videos. But obviously there's a lot of injustice in our country, and that was really brought to light after the death of George Floyd and Breonna Taylor and Ahmaud Arbery. Like just having that consecutively happen within a season where we're already in a lot of like chaos with COVID. I just wanted to share like my actionable items. What I'm learning as I'm a young adult is like putting your money where your mouth is. Some things, like obviously there's a lot of things that need to change, and I think we can tackle them as like a country and as a group and as educated people. But I feel like, what can I do tomorrow? What can I do next week? You know, what can I do that's going to be sustainable for me, in addition to the educating and raising awareness? And so I wrote down some points, and I think this is what I'll put in. I'm so sorry I'm not doing a very good job in trying to explain everything. But first, I want to be more conscious of where I'm spending my money on, you know, Black-owned businesses, like restaurants, obviously makeup, clothes, other things that I use. You know, can I be more conscious with what I purchase? And I think, yeah. And knowing that like a lot of my power is from my purchasing power as a consumer, you know, having money to spend. So that's one of them. And then the second is focusing on like my local community, like, you know, my city, or like, you know, I live in Raleigh, but also Durham. I've seen a lot of huge corporations make hundreds of thousands of dollar donations to, you know, Black Lives Matter Fund, Minnesota Freedom Fund, Equal Justice Initiative, and obviously that's awesome, but they have big platforms and they're getting bigger. But local organizations, they just don't have that type of like presence on social media. But a lot of these organizations are the ones that are working locally in our community, whether it be homeless shelters, food banks, things like that. What's most sustainable is doing things like locally. I'm going to link down below some of the local organizations that I found. A lot of the people that watch this probably live near me or in this area, or people that I know, so I really encourage you to look at those and consider, you know, being a part of them if you have the means. And even if you don't have the means, there are so many things that we can do. I just hope we can be more empathetic and understanding as someone who's not Black, but also have actionable items that are sustainable that we can actually do. Yeah, and then the last thing I'll say is like, just because something that my friend really helped me with is like, just because you don't have an opinion on everything doesn't mean you can't voice what you know and what you believe. I think I struggled a lot in the very beginning, like, oh my gosh, I don't know enough, I don't want to look stupid, I don't want to offend anybody, so I have to have an opinion on every single thing that's going on, even within this movement. But that's not true. Black Lives Matter is not really an opinion to have. It's just it's a fact, it's a statement. It's literally, like, that's just what it is. So I feel like I'm trying to go off of that and then kind of, you know, dive deeper into where I need to learn and change things that are like inside me. So anyways, that's it. Sorry this was so long, and let's go into the makeup. Okay, so actually I don't have a freaking foundation. It's really hard to color match online, but I did buy a concealer that I'm gonna use. It's by UOMA Beauty. I did really want to buy the Pat McGrath. The only reason I didn't buy it is because it's so expensive, and I really shouldn't be spending that much money right now. But I got this in my package, and it's just a sample of the Pat McGrath Fetish Sublime Perfection Foundation. So I will use some of the sample, but I think I'm going to mainly use the UOMA Beauty Stay Woke Concealer. It is slightly a bit too dark for me, but I got T1 Honey Honey. It matches my hand perfectly, but my hand and my face is not the same color. So I'm going to mix these two sample pods that I got, medium and light medium. So I think that'll match me. I don't know, I know Fenty is not complete, like I know it's like it's like half owned by Rihanna, so I don't, but I've been seeing a lot of influencers show a lot of Fenty products in their like black owned beauty thing, but I know it's not fully black owned, but it is owned by Rihanna. And then Pat McGrath is obviously owned by Mama Pat. Anyways, I'm gonna mix these two on my face just for a nice base first. Like I was saying, what really opened my eyes as like someone who is an avid consumer of makeup, and in general I do try to be conscious of what I'm purchasing, kinda like I'm trying to be better obviously. So the founder of UOMA Beauty, Sharon, started this challenge, and I first saw this because I follow Jackie Aina, and it's a pull up or shut up challenge, and basically she called mostly makeup brands to post the representation in their companies. Like, what is your black representation at your company? Not people of color, not women, just black representation. I actually didn't think like a lot of companies would, but then again I was like, oh, social pressure is intense. And I was surprised to see a lot of companies, I think everybody was surprised to see, that actually responded. But what was really interesting to me was these companies would post their statistics, but like the question was, what's your black representation? And then these companies would post like 54% women, and then 30% people of color, and then like at the bottom they would post like 7% black. I don't know, it's just really interesting. It kind of reminded me of when you're writing a paper or something. Really, your thesis is all you need, but then you write freaking 10 pages of something else. And I was just like, oh my gosh, this is so interesting, because like, yeah, these companies are posting their statistics, but I feel like to make sure to make their black representation not look so bad, they would post the other statistics of other like minority groups. And I was just like, that is so interesting. That really opened my eyes to like, oh my gosh, like I'm putting my money into these companies. Are they doing the job that they said that they're gonna do? And most companies were like, we will do better. And I don't want to say I'm sure that's true. Wow, this foundation's quite good. It's pretty medium coverage. Granted, I didn't have that much because I got it from sample. But now I'm applying the UOMA Beauty Stay Woke concealer, and I actually tried this yesterday. This is really yellow, which I actually like more. UOMA has really good undertones, I feel like. And some companies have been committed from the very beginning, and I think other companies are realizing like, oh, this is actually a problem that we have and we need to do something about it. And then I definitely feel like other companies are like, oh, if we don't want to get roasted, toasted, canceled, we got to say something and at least pretend like we're doing it. You know, and that's, I mean, I know I'm being judgmental and you don't actually know someone's real intentions, but I feel like, you know, within the next 5 years, because so many companies are coming out and saying these things that they will actually change and like, you know, increase their representation within their company, I think you'll really be able to see the fruit of all of this, maybe within like the next 2, 3, 5 years. Okay, the thing about this is that it is pretty thick, but the coverage is really, I think it's really full coverage, but just gotta add a little bit more. Also, look at my nails, everybody. My friend did them, and since I can't go to her house or anything, these are press-ons. Yeah, press-ons, baby. So she just gave it to me in this box and gave me these little glue tabs. And I'm gonna link her here, and I'm gonna show you some photos. She's so good. She's my best friend and I love her so much. And I'm not gonna powder yet because I have this actually recently launched too. The cream blush from Fenty Beauty. I got the color Summertime Wine. These are really small, like if you see how I'm holding it, but you honestly don't need that much, so I feel like the size is okay. Okay, the bad thing about these nails, you cannot do anything. Freaking A. I had to open it using my earwax picker. Okay, so this is the shade. There's actually a bit of shimmer in it, I didn't know. Think about this much, and then I'm just gonna start dabbing it. And actually a brush works quite well with this. I was pretty surprised, but I like using my fingers for cream products. So I'm just going to stick to my fingers. Oh man. Kinda gotta not hit hard, but like really pat it in there. It's all about the continuous patting. Okay, and then I'm going to powder my face, and I got this powder from Ulta. The packaging is so cute. It's called Beauty Bakery, and it's all of like, all the products are like baking and stuff like that. This is in the color Cassava. which is actually yellow, but the powder itself is so thin. And I was worried that it would be maybe like too mattifying, but it's not. I think it's perfect for like every day. So I'm so happy about this. So I'm just gonna take, oh, and it has like a stopper. I think I had so much trouble when I used to use the Laura Mercier. I had so much trouble because it would go everywhere because there's no like stopper. But this thing has a nice stopper. Also, let me just show you. So cute. I'm just gonna powder my entire face. Also, I curled my hair for the first time this year, I think. Just because we went out to take the recycling. I know, that's so sad. And then I'm gonna highlight. This is one of my favorite highlighters, but it's intense, so I don't use it that much. But it's the Fenty Diamond Balm, and it's dirty because Andy put his purple brush in there, but it's okay. That's the thing, this is like not like shimmer, it's straight up like glitter. Yes. On my nose. And I actually usually apply this with a brush, but I'm kind of using my fingers a lot today. Maybe it's because I have these nails on. I came back with my brows done as well because I don't have black-owned makeup brand brow pencil. Now I'm gonna go straight into my eyeshadow. So I'm using my favorite Pat McGrath palette. And then I also got this in the mail last week. I put in an order. So I've actually seen these eyeshadows from Raw Beauty Christie. This is my first time purchasing it on my own, or purchasing it. And it's a company called JD Glow, and they sell single shadows. I think they do sell, I don't know if they sell palettes. I played with this a little bit over the past week and it is crazy blinding, but it's like silver blue, so I thought it would be best to do like a purpley look. Anyways, I'm just gonna start with just a base of a brown, just really light all over my eyelids. I'm applying this brown, and then the next color I apply, that's gonna be essentially the whole look itself, just this intensely dark purple. It's right here, and it's really dark, so in the beginning it can look patchy, but the thing I learned about Pat McGrath shadows is that you just gotta be good at blending. So here we go. I'm just gonna start like this and blend it into my whole eye. See, you'll think it's patchy, right? Oh, it doesn't look that patchy on camera, but just you wait. And do the other eye. Okay, I think I'm doing a better job than yesterday. Yo! Okay, so now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna create the outline of, I don't know what I'm calling this. It's like a winged out eyeshadow look. And you know, as you know, my eyes they're not small, but they're not big. Like, they've got a crease, but there's not much depth to it. It's just more of a fold. So I'm going to create a kind of a winged out eyeshadow. Oh, okay. It doesn't have to be perfect because I am going to blend it and I'm putting on the topper on top anyways, but let me just get a good line going. Okay, I'm gonna fill this in and I'm gonna do the other side as well. Okay, and as you know, my eyes are shaped differently. This one's actually bigger than this eye, but I think I did a pretty even job. Oh my gosh. Okay, so before I work on my bottom, I'm going to just go ahead and apply this shimmer topper onto my eyes now, and I think this is really where things get crazy. So here I go. Also, my nail is so long that I'm gonna probably have to use a brush, but I'm just gonna start first with a Look at that. Oh my gosh. Oh yeah, baby. Oh yeah, baby. And I'm going above a little bit too. It's not just on the inside of this purple, but oh my gosh, yes. Wow, wow. This is I'm intense. I'm intense. And I think, you know what makes this intenser and more blue is like this light is directly shining on it. Oh wow. This isn't fallout, this is from my hand. It's okay, I'm gonna fix that. I'm gonna take a brush and pat the rest on because my fingers are not doing a good job. I think I've gotta blend this out a little bit better. And I'm gonna put on a little bit more shadow. And I'm gonna actually take the Fenty Diamond Balm and I'm gonna top it to just add a little bit more dimension. You honestly do not need to, but why not? And I'm going to add this to the inner corner. And I'm gonna take this bullet brush and then darken my lower lash line. You know, usually I don't do my lower lashes, but something this top heavy, I feel like you need to do a little bit something on the bottom. Okay. This is definitely outside my comfort zone, but it's okay. I'm gonna put on mascara, I'm gonna put on lashes, and I'm gonna be right back. So the last thing that I'm going to do are my lips, and I have it's back to pat. So I'm gonna use 4. I know that's a lot, but you'll see why in a second. So the first, it's gonna be kind of a nude because there's so much going on here. I don't want the lips to be too intense, so I'm going to opt for not too much of a muted look, but more of a soft mauve-y nude. So I'm gonna start with just applying this matte LUX Trance lipstick in the color Lust Angeles. And I'm just gonna apply that first. I mean, you could stop here, but I'm gonna keep going. So then I'm gonna move on to Attitude. Yeah. And for this, I'm gonna actually just put it on the palm of my hand and then dab it in the center of my lids, because this is red. And then I'm going to put this on top, my blow up. Oh, this is all I have left, everyone. It's okay though, I can just order another one. And this is more of a pink balm. Last but not least, I'm going to go ahead and put on Pat McGrath Lip Lust Gloss in the color For Real. And you know, usually I'd spray after this, but I really am not going anywhere, so. Anyways, this is the final look. Very different from what I normally do. But I think this is good because I'm getting out of my comfort zone and I'm trying to develop, am I trying to develop new skills? I don't know, but yeah, this is it. Let's everyone have a good look. I think obviously the point here is my eyes. And I think I did a pretty good job on them. I know this feels kind of strange because I'm trying, I don't want this to come off like, oh, I'm doing it because everybody else is doing it. And then I also don't want it to come off as like performative or like, hey, look at me. But it doesn't matter because everything that I do is going to be perceived in a certain way. So I don't really have control over that. I can just do better myself in my everyday life. Thank you so much for watching my video and see you next time. Bye.